Hello and welcome, it's Chris from Christopher Holt Training, and welcome to this tutorial where we're going to look at the first step to any lower back pain rehabilitation. Now before we get into that, I just quickly want to mention my social media, which you can see up in the top right hand corner of the screen. You've got Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and YouTube. Please do come along to any or all of those, and please do like, follow and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, click the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and you'll be notified when I release my next tutorial. If you also want to add some comments below, they are more than welcome. Any feedback below, more than welcome. And any questions, I'm more than happy to answer any questions to sort of start you off on your journey to overcoming lower back pain. Alternatively, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you've got a URL there. That goes through to my online program, my How to Overcome Lower Back Pain online program. You have two options. There's the fully online version, and then there's the online version supported by my coaching, which is a one-to-one online coaching. All of them, or both of them, start with this very step, and then it progresses into what we're going to talk about in this tutorial. So what is the first step to any lower back pain rehabilitation? Well, it's understanding your lower back pain, or at least beginning to understand it. Some lower back pain is more complicated than others. Some lower back pain takes a little bit longer to understand. But we've got to understand your lower back pain. And the main reason why is very simple. It directs everything else. So the type of things it's telling us: postures, what postures to use and what postures not to use, what daily activities are helping and what daily activities aren't helping, what exercises can we use and when can we start using them, what stretches can we do and when can we start doing them. Because lower back pain or a rehabilitation isn't a one size fits all. It's not doing a massage and then sending you on your way. Or it's not saying you need to strengthen your core and sending you on your way. Or it's not saying, right, do these couple of stretches and then sending you on your way. There's a little bit more to it than that. We've got to understand, what are the postures that are triggering pain? What are the postures that are relieving pain? What are the daily activities doing that? What are the exercises that do that? What are the stretches do that? So it's down to me to be able to ask those questions, and those are the questions that are in the online program and the online program that's supported by the one-to-one. The only difference being you are self-guiding yourself through two workshops, a self-guided consultation and a self-guided self-assessment. If you choose to work with me one-to-one, I take you through that in the coaching. You'll do the self-guided self-assessment because it's an online coaching, but the online consultation is done through me. You send all the information to me for the assessment, and then I direct you with regards to advice, recommendations, daily activities, postures, exercises, stretches, so on and so forth. With the online version, you're directing that yourself. All of the consultations and self-assessments have that guidance that comes with it. If you experience pain here, you need to go here. If you don't experience pain and you're pain-free here, you can go here. That type of thing. So this is the reason why it's the first step. Because as I mentioned, it directs everything else. It sends you to the place where you need to go. So what we're now going to do is we're going to look at two examples, two opposing examples, which is why I've chosen them, and then how we were able to direct that rehabilitation to help improve their pain and in some cases overcome their pain. So example one was constant pain. Sitting relieves the pain, but walking triggers it. Now this isn't an ideal situation, because people are more than happy to sit down for a long period of time. They'll do it for work. This client of mine was a taxi driver, so he was sat down for work. So it was, in some respects, it wasn't too much of a problem. But as soon as he would get up to walk, it was a problem. So he wasn't, and you aren't, and whoever has this type of pain isn't going to go through life without walking. So the first sort of part of the program, or goal number one, was to improve his ability to walk. We knew he could sit down and relieve his pain. He'd been through the consultation and the self-assessment. He'd given me the results. Now, I'm not going to go through the full sort of case study. It is just picking out just little snippets which we were able to help improve his walking with regards to reducing his pain. So what we started off doing was we started doing walking intervals with pain-free rest breaks. So that could be sitting down, we knew that already relieved pain, or putting him in a posture where he was leaning against a park bench, or leaning on his knees with a neutral posture through his spine. So what we were able to do is get him up to 35 seconds of walking without pain. So that was an improvement. So we knew that we were working in the right direction. So what we then did, once he got to that point, he fed that information back to me. What we were then able to do is start thinking about, well, what else can we do and how can we help relieve this pain? Now, with other information that he'd given me during the consultation, there was an understanding that hips were becoming a problem. So one of the things I suggested was to foam roll the glute medius and glute minimus before he went for his walk. And what happened almost instantly, he was able to walk up to 3 minutes because he was lubricating his hips. His muscles were starting to become a little bit more supple and a little bit more resistant to sort of spasming and being in pain. And we instantly got it up to 3 minutes. So again, we had that instant improvement. We were still doing the walking in intervals of 3 minutes and the pain-free rest breaks. So we were making sure we were getting those rest breaks. And again, we were using, first of all, he just started off doing 3-minute blocks. So that got him up to 9 minutes. With the rest breaks, it was a little bit longer. But what we were then able to do is then expand that out to 4. I think it was up to 4 minutes and then 4 times. So again, we were expanding his ability to walk. Now, this is a slow process. It's something that takes time. And this is, again, sort of the one thing that a lot of people do tend to miss when it comes to lower back pain. Is just taking the time and just focusing on the small improvements and the marginal gains that we were able to get because we knew we were moving in the right direction. And then once we got him up to that point where he was much more out of pain, we could then start thinking about, well, okay, what we need to do is we need to continue improving the function of his hips. So we were getting him to do certain exercises and certain stretches. We also needed to help build his core strength and stability. So again, we were getting him to do certain exercises and certain stretches. But we weren't going to get to that point until we were able to get him out of much more pain. So now we were up to reducing his pain and we had these blocks of pain-free time. We could then start adding in the exercises and the stretches to go with it as well. Example 2 was, in some respects, the complete opposite. So he had pain sat down, which was a flexion-based pain, but walking helped. So this is the complete opposite. So the reason I chose these two is because they were the complete opposite. Because you can't just say to both of these people, you need to go and build your core strength and stability, or you need to go and do these stretches, because their pain patterns or their pain triggers were completely different. So what we needed to do with this guy is we needed to get him to a point where he could improve his sitting, because his job was at a desk. So one of the things we were able to do was use walking within his working day to help relieve his pain. So we were putting in blocks where we would get him up out of the seat, we would get him to walk around, and then we would get him to sit back down. And then again, we were recording how long he could sit for before pain, and we were seeing, was that going from 5 minutes to 10 minutes to 15 minutes, so on and so forth. So we were using that walking again to lubricate the hips, to make the muscles a little bit more supple, to be able then to get him sitting for longer periods of time. What we also used was an abdominal brace and the sit-stand movement technique. So one of the things he asked me was, can you get me up out of a seat without pain? So I then asked him to sit down, brace his abdominals accordingly. So it's not a full brace because we're not lifting a heavy weight, just a mild brace. then to hinge at the hip, maintain a neutral posture just to shift his centre of gravity forward, and then get up slowly. And the words he said to me was, I haven't felt pain-free getting up out of a seat for a very long time. So we were able to, with just 2 simple techniques, to improve his lower back pain. So as I've mentioned, with both of these were over a couple of sessions. So these are just the first things I was working on them with. And it's, right, here are a couple of tasks. Go away, practice them, implement them. Are we improving your pain? Come back in 2 weeks. Are we improving your pain? Yes, we are. Okay, we've got progress. We've given them that time to embed it, so they start making it a little bit more of a habit. And then what we've started to do is in sessions 2, 3, and 4, is we've then started to embed more and more sort of movement-based, exercise and stretching-based techniques to be able to reduce their back pain further and eventually overcome their lower back pain. So when it comes to overcoming lower back pain, it's not just a simple case of saying, right, here's a workout, here's some exercises or some stretches, go away and do them. There's a little bit more to it than that. And when you go through my online program or my online program supported by one-to-one coaching, this is exactly what you get. You go through either online a self-guided consultation or a coach-guided consultation with me. Then you go through a self-guided self-assessment. With the coaching, all that information gets fed to me. I am then able to put in advice and recommendations. With the self-guided consultation and assessment, within that, I'm offering you the advice and the recommendations. That then directs you to the different areas of the program. So both of the online program and the coaching, the supported coaching online program, they both start from the same place. We've got to understand your lower back pain. We've got to have a better understanding of your lower back pain, what's triggering it, what's improving it, how long is it away for, does it change through the day, all these different types of things. Once we do that, we then find patterns in the information. Once we've found patterns in the information, it then starts directing us to the next step. And that is why this is the first step to any lower back pain rehabilitation. So if you've either been to anyone and they've done a little bit of investigation and then given you a couple of exercises and set you on your way, then it's probably not the most effective consultation and assessment that you've had. So what we need to be able to do is start investigating and understanding your lower back pain that much better that we can start putting in pain-free postures, movements, positions and loads throughout your daily life so we can start overcoming your lower back pain. Now, with all of this said, some people may be able to miss out a lot more of the movement-based techniques and go straight to workouts. But that, again, will all come out in the consultation and assessment. So we need to find out not only a little bit more about your back pain, but also where you are in the journey. Some people will be further along than others. Again, I spoke to another guy. He was in Toronto, and he had gone a long way to overcoming his lower back pain. And then he came to me with, okay, I've done X, Y, and Z. I've got this far. Now this is happening, but I'm not quite sure what I need to do. And then again, I was able, over a couple of sessions, going through the consultation, going through the self-assessment, I was able to then direct him a little bit further on so we could get him that much further on and further into his lower back pain, where he's now gone on to improve his back pain that little bit more. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. Hopefully it's given you a better idea of the types of things that you need to be thinking about when it comes to your lower back pain. And as I've mentioned, if you do need help with it, by all means go to the URL below, fill out the questionnaire. If you choose the one-to-one coaching, you will go straight to a questionnaire, fill it out, and it will come to me. Alternatively, if you choose to go down the self-guided or self-coached route and you go into the online program, that is the place that you start, with the same consultation that I will ask you anyway and the same assessment that I will ask you to go through. So many thanks for watching. Again, if you do need some help, please do come to me. Many thanks for watching. My name is Chris from Christopher Hall Training. I will speak to you in the next tutorial.